Top of the hour, people. This is Quasi from the Diversity of Thought podcast, along with my main man, John
Luga.
Luga. So this episode 3 for Public Diary. So, John, what's the topic today for Public Diary?
All right, the topic for Public Diary is a tweet, and we are a male-centered podcast. That's not anti-woman. You know what I mean?
Definitely not.
It's not anti-woman. It's just focusing on men, and
Yeah.
hopefully that won't be an issue to the collective.
Right.
Right. So I'm gonna read this.
Can't speak for the collective, but you never know.
I'm gonna read this tweet from
Yeah.
the public diary because that's what it is. It's basically a public diary, group of tweets. Majority of men aren't just out here splashing and dashing or dating and ghosting. We hit and it's trash. We get to know you and you're a terrible human being. Rejection based on learned information is human rights. So what's that about? That's basically saying, like, every time a man dates a woman, you know what I mean, engages in a relationship, it's to be understood that we could change our mind.
Yeah, it's like a job. It's at will employment.
You know what I mean? At will employment. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So, but I noticed that only the collective are allowed to grow apart
Yeah.
or feel different or hold on, fall out of love.
Yeah.
Only the collective, like they're allowed to leave the marriage, right, at a 70% rate, right? And it's not always abuse, right? The divorce filing rate is about 70% from 2019, right? But the point is that whenever a man decides against, the investment, he's a bad guy. I don't think that that's fair. I think that that's human rights, right? They call it love bombing, right? So with men love bombing, because they usually say it's us, the collective say it's us, we love bomb, right? We feel very strongly about you, and over time we get to know you, and that feeling dissipates, right? Ain't that how it should be? There's a genuine interest.
You know why that feeling goes? It's hard to fake consistency, John. It's hard to fake consistency. Eventually the real you shows. And the real you might not be something that somebody's accepting or willing to work with.
I totally agree. The way you start off feeling, that's nature. Right? We got to stop villainizing physical attraction. We got to stop villainizing immediate connection. I think that the difference between men and the collective is that we understand that going into the engagement that we're not promised a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Men compartmentalize, right? Like I always say, we're not saying this is your glass ceiling, but it happens when what you do, what you say, how you dress, you know what I mean? The way you engage in public. You understand what I'm saying? That gives you that glass ceiling. And I think that is fair. It's fair, bro. It's okay to meet someone, like them a lot, and then decide maybe I don't like them that much.
Not for me.
And what they'll say is, well, if you don't like me or if you don't love me that much, let me know how that's going to work out. Realistically speaking, the conversation is always, well, be honest, or I'm not saying a lie, but let's keep it a stack. I'm telling my truth. He's telling his truth, right? Other men are engaging in the conversation and they're backing us up, right? But the moment that they hear something that they don't like or doesn't feel good, they reject it.
And they use words like gaslighting,
a whole bunch of
triggering.
You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is that all the
Oh my God. I'm glad we're having this conversation, bro, because I'm letting you run amok, bro. Because it's good to have a conversation like this.
we have to get out of that childlike mindset, right? Like when you're engaging with a child, you don't focus on their shortcomings, right? You focus on their strengths, right? And you expound on it. You build on their strengths, right? But the fact of the matter is that a certain collective never grew out of that, right? To the point where they'll only accept praise, right? They don't accept any type of criticism, not construct. It doesn't matter, right? The fact of the matter is that you aren't perfect, all right? And everyone's not inherently relationship ready or deserving of such.
They're not. Especially if they have no good examples of it.
That'll do it. But in the same breath, if you're just a decent human being, you know what I mean? That will gravitate towards you.
I learned in my 45 years of life, man. I learned a lot, especially with relationships and stuff like that. I learned a lot. I know the good thing about me, I always have the ability to walk away and never look back. You know,
I don't know.
I have the ability to walk away and never look back. Because the Bible says if you look back, it's an assault. I live that mantra.
All right, so I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
There's no but. I understand where you're coming from. I personally don't do things that way, right? It's because I'm open to discomfort. Like I'm open, like the life experience is not all pleasure.
It's not pleasure,
You
but
know what
I
I'm saying?
already live my life like I have a pebble in my shoe. I live that uncomfortable existence, bro.
Mm.
I'm not accepting less. I realize too, men get villainized for leaving. Well, he's a quitter.
And we don't even do it often.
We don't even do it often. For us to leave, we have to be fed up.
We don't even do it often.
We have to tell ourselves, I look at something in the mirror like me. I look myself in the mirror and say I did everything in my power to make this work. I'm comfortable with the decision.
See, that's the thing, right? So that's the thing. This is when the lover boy comes out, right? I love to the best of my abilities in real time.
Yeah.
Right? If a woman ever asks me, did I miss her? Right? Because that's a question. I'm going to say no.
That question irritates me.
I'm going to say no. Not because I don't want to give her the gratification, but because I love you in real time. I love you in real time. When you're with me, it's now. I'm in the moment. It's your time. This is my life. I don't have anything better to give you than my life. I'm giving you me right now. When you're away from me, like, well, for one thing, to miss someone, that's not a good feeling. Why do you want that? Why do you want that from me? I don't want nobody to miss me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm with my son, I want my son to know, like, yo, he has my full attention. He has my full love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't gotta miss me. You come back to me if that's the case. You know what I mean? So when it comes to breaking up, when you said don't look back, I don't have to look back. I left it all on the court. I left it all on the field.
To look at
You know what I mean?
all
I don't gotta look back. I don't got no regret. I will try again and again and again to preserve, to save engagement. You understand what I'm saying? I see my investment all the way through to the point of you gotta go with self-preservation.
Let me ask you, yes, it was self-preservation, but when you leave a situation because you did everything in your power and you realize, hey, it's not for me. When you leave, right? Because that's how I move.
So I keep it in my head. No matter it don't matter how intelligent I think I am and how much life experience I have, right?
Yeah.
I always keep in the back of my head that uh, I don't know it all. So me not knowing it all, that makes me try just a little bit harder. Like, oh, I've seen this pattern a bunch of times. So I know this outcome. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I focus on, all right, let me try a little bit harder. You know what I mean? And when it comes time for the end, it's really the end for me, and it's not the end for them. So it always seems like a crashing wave. I've been already told you. I'm like, yo, and I'm not one of those guys. I'm not gonna just firewall. I'm not gonna just be a brick wall in front of you. I'm like, look, this is not gonna work. You're gonna have to switch this up. Or I don't like how this went, and I don't think that this is sustainable. That's a big thing for me. How sustainable it is. You behaving this way, it's not gonna work. Outright. And they're not warnings, they're prerequisites for the end. I mean, come on, man. It's okay, man. It's okay. And I think that I have nothing but audacity, right? Because I'm privileged, and I do believe you privileged because we don't have that lack mindset. We got the abundance mindset. So, and remember what we said about a man that wants to be of service is welcome everywhere. We're not gonna run out of love opportunities. Let's call it what it is.
Especially me. I'm 6 months with dimples.
Yeah.
Full sleeve now.
So good. So when you live, we live like we are men in our essence. We live to be of service. That's what a man really. That's what makes us feel like men, right? We want to be useful, not used, right?
Yeah.
So that type of person is welcome anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you think you dumping him, and he wants to be of service. Somebody gonna pick him up. Now imagine being, you know what I'm saying? Imagine being 6'7" and well spoken and handsome and a good dresser and just a plethora of things that I know I am. Who gonna check me? You know what I'm saying? Aggression, protection, whatever you into, I got that. You know what I mean? And I don't behave like I don't have to deal with anything, but I behave like I know that I could get it again.
And the good thing about it, we can have a conversation.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell
Have a
yeah.
conversation because
Teach me, Teach me something that I miss, mamas. Teach me something that I miss. Show me.
Give me some insights so I can know how to navigate around you and all that stuff. But just know everything has an expiration date. You know, be a kind woman, be a appreciative woman, and be a woman that values what a man is given.
Show me, show me that the facts, the data, the statistics, you know what I mean, the experiences that I've amassed over 4 decades, that you're something different, right? I think that that's a big deal, bro. We gotta, like, can we just please, right? You can't dress, speak, get the same hairstyle, drink the same amount, eat unhealthy. If you want to be treated as special, you have to separate yourself from the pack. You know what I mean? I'm okay with women separating men into different categories and tiers.
Visibility, relevance, and separation. In order for you to become the most visible, you have to make yourself relevant. And that being relevant separates you from everybody.
You can't go
That's the
like,
pillars.
you can't have that hive mindset, man.
Yeah.
And I use hive, you got to be careful when you say hive.
Yeah,
You know what I
because-
mean? You know what I mean? But you can't have that hive mindset. I was having a conversation about Beyonce, right? And how Beyonce is a human being. You know what I mean? And as her albums progress, they align with what she went through as a woman, from youth to being a wife, a mother, so on and so forth, right? And I recognize,
on blemish brand.
you know, well, you okay. but you know that, like, women follow Beyonce like they followed Christ, right? Right.
As a fact.
But what I notice is that they only follow the Beyonce that's easy to follow. You know what I mean? I am a big fan of Beyonce. You get it? I see her transition and I see the difficulties in her growth and development as a human, as a woman, right? As a mother, as a wife. They only want to do the easy stuff. They want to walk through the streets with the baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? They want to have another you in a minute. You know what I mean? They don't want to cater to you, right? They don't want the forgiveness. They don't want the putting the family and the business first. They don't want the hard stuff. They want the easy Beyonce, which is the Beyonce when she's hurt. You know what I mean? When she's lashing out. You know what I mean? Beyonce is a perfect example. Like, you will follow your queen, but you won't follow your queen to greatness. You know what I mean? You won't follow your queen over obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever listened to Cater to You, my nigga?
No.
Bro, Cater to You is a song where she's putting her man first and she want to do this for her man and she just honoring her man.
I bet you to skip over that.
Ain't no way. You know what I mean? The easy, they like the drunk. I love Drunken Love. First of all, that's one of my many favorite Beyonce songs, right? But it's easy to be drunk in love. You understand what I'm saying? You sipping a Douce, you on a balcony with your girl doing not nice things. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all on vacay. You know what I'm saying? Y'all on vacay and you in Mexico doing donuts in the sand dunes and all this other cool stuff, but we don't want to engage with that type of excitement. Is not sustainable. We got to start teaching them that. Do you want to keep in this constant cycle of new man, or you want to be in a sustainable relationship? That kind of excitement is not sustainable. Life is not all about fun. Okay? It's not all about excitement. You grow apart. You fell out of love. We gotta stop letting them be children.
So I had that type of experience, that type of narrative in the relationship and shit. It shouldn't make no sense. But I chasing $1 million, I chasing legacy. There's the crazy thing, for a woman, you would think there's the kind of man you support because you understand when you reach where he is going in life, it will be a blessing and a benefit to you.
So that's
But I learned that legacy and stuff didn't matter to that person. That person wanted fun.
When they say consistency, right? They're talking about the fun.
Yeah.
The excitement.
They're talking about that. So, but that's not realistic.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable, it's not realistic.
So, but we let them, you remember Jay-Z had a verse. He's like, I'm trying to transform these boys to men like daycare.
Yeah.
Right? So you literally, when you get a woman, she's not she's an adult girl. This is not every woman. They have women that are mature and they understand sustainability and longevity and love and all these things, right? But most, this is most in my experience and what I see online and what y'all agree with, right? We end up with an adult girl. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach them that, there's more to life than pleasures, right? So we villainize men for chasing their pleasures. We were just on the podcast talking about that, right?
Yeah.
You chase if the majority of your life is the pursuit of pleasures, you're not gonna grow, right? Women, girls, adult girls chase pleasure. That oxytocin, you know what I mean? That feeling of excitement.
You know when they use the word teacher and stuff like that, that bothers the collective.
No, because
They do, bro. That
nah,
word
because
teach, the word obedience, it bothers.
I'm
You know
open.
why? Because they don't understand the true definition of the word.
So the reason why they don't like teach and obedience is because it's fatherly. In America, fathers have expectations, but none of them come with authority. That's what they were like, right?
Yeah.
So you are my OG, and I don't mind learning from you.
Yeah.
Perfect example, right? My mom has taught me a lot. You know what I mean? There's women throughout my life that have taught me plenty. So it's gender neutral. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But let's talk about authority. Okay. I think men yield to authority more than women.
Yeah, we do.
Think about it. The toughest, strongest, most murderous guys in our military. Sir, yes, sir. No
Yeah.
problem. You know what I That's part of our makeup. We understand that everybody can't be a leader. It only take one leader in a situation and they'll lead you to greatness or they'll lead you to your demise. But regardless of the cases, we understand.
Yeah.
We understand rank. And it doesn't mean that only men are the rank, but what you're talking about, leadership, is an issue.
Yeah.
They don't like fathers. They don't like fathers. That's it.
Because the word obedience and teach. I remember I was telling them about an African proverb, right? An obedient woman is a kept woman. They hear the word obedient and lost their mind. Because I was talking to a group of women and stuff when we was having this conversation. I said, why is obedience a bad word? You want your kids to be obedient to you, right? Well, that's my children and all that stuff. But you want man to provide and protect. You don't think that authority will come with some type of obedience?
So our people, our
Yeah.
people, they it's a lot of Christianity, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it's God, husband, mother, child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So the understanding to most women in the West is that because there's a lot of single parent household, right?
Yeah.
They understand that they are the authority over their children,
Yeah.
right? And the concept of someone being the authority over them, it escapes them because they're power hungry. They're power hungry. That's all it boils down to. It's
And
power
they feel
hungry.
like a sense of control and stuff, right? They think, at least listening to a man or having having to follow a man's direction is a man destroying them or making them lose their identity.
And then it's
Part of what comes with the life you want, bro.
but then they'll split hairs like, oh well, I don't know about his direction, or I don't know if I trust his leadership, or but you picked them.
Yeah, no.
Do you trust yourself?
Yeah, because that's your judgment.
Who's gonna take accountability for your choice? You understand what I'm saying? If you want to live your life without no authority, then do that. But don't complain about it, right? You pick the man and you don't trust his leadership. Who is that on? You could pick another man. What are we really talking about here, bro? You understand what I'm saying? Be responsible for your decisions. But the fact of the matter is that the truth, you've never seen a man in a position of authority, so you will always buck against it.
Yeah.
Okay? Your mother didn't listen to nobody. Your grandmother didn't listen to nobody. Your homegirls don't listen to nobody. Nobody could teach them nothing. Right? Let's call it what it is. Without representation. I'm not gonna
tiptoeing into the red pill. What?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so because this is rooted in love.
Yeah.
Y'all like that, right? This is rooted in love. No, this is rooted in love. I don't. So this is another thing that's in our community, right? If you're correcting a woman, you hate women.
Exactly. I have no opinion.
You can't. No. Not the opinion, because the opinion is up for discussion.
Yeah.
Correction is something that everybody needs. If you're correcting a woman, you hate women. But check it out though, right? When the man don't tell you nothing, that's when you really need to be worried about how he feel about you.
Yeah.
You understand? He don't give a damn about you. So all right, so we went in and lived on this topic, but I
Yeah.
really have something that I have to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? you gotta take a man for what he is, right? You can accept him or reject him, right? What you got to say? What you got to say on the topic in the tweet, right quick? I want to see your take on it because I want to bounce off you.
My take is this, right? Because this is one of them things that I really think about a lot and stuff like that, right? You know, we don't. I never, I never objectify women and stuff. So I never been one to really splash and dash. To be honest, you know, I'm a laid back guy to be outside and be in every party, to be hopping from bed to bed. I don't have a bunch of kids all around the place and all that stuff. I got two girls with one woman, you know, and my kids in their 20s. So for the most part, I've been very disciplined, right? You know, but what I realize is this, right? Sometimes we get ourselves in relationships, and then at first it's all incredible and stuff, but the real person starts to show. And what I realize in my being at 45, what I realize is a lot of women say they want something they're not ready for. They're not ready for. They're not ready for a man to lead. They're not ready for a man to provide. They're not ready for a man to protect. It sounds good. It sounds good to the friend when they're talking about, yeah, I want a man to do this. When they're having the woman conversation, but they're not ready for that. Because in order to have that, you have to be a different kind of woman. You have to be a different kind of woman. And something you got to walk out to survival mode,
Right.
survival mode thing in order to be ready for that kind of man. Because when that man comes, you can't waste his fucking time. You just can't. You gotta be ready. You gotta be conditioned. You gotta know how to be. You gotta know how to navigate. You gotta be a support system. Because that type of man will give you everything. But you know, you have to be supportive. You have to keep qualifying yourself. You don't qualify yourself one time for that. Because people qualify themselves in the beginning of a relationship. And then after a while, they stop qualifying themselves. You have to keep qualifying yourself to make sure that, hey, I'm deserving of this from a man. Not a lot of people do that.
There's two sides to that, right? So
Yeah.
with the man side, right? This is what you got to understand as a man. A woman have a flaw; she don't have no ceiling, right? So whatever you do for your lady on a consistent basis, that is now the floor that she's standing on.
Yeah.
There's no amount that you could do for your lady that will eclipse. Like she don't have a ceiling. Whatever you could produce, provide, she have a floor. The floor is what you do for her. She does not have a ceiling. It never stops. And that's not a bad thing. This is nature. Okay. Now, when it comes to women, I think that the conversation of grace comes a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like you understand that you got to go to school to interview, to get the job. You understand what I'm saying? You understand that you got to go to church, get sanctified, get to heaven. You understand what I'm saying? You understand all these things. You understand that there are processes that you have to work and constantly keep working to receive. And I think that when they talk security, they just really just want the salary without the job.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
They equate that security for finances, bro.
We ain't even gonna get into that.
Nah, we'll get that. We'll say that one for episode.
I
Because I really want to. That's something I really.
I
That's a
will
topic
cook.
I trying to cook in that episode. But are we approaching red pill?
No, I don't even think that we're approaching the NZT pill. They don't even because this is an awakening. This is a genderless awakening. This is for men and women. You know, we all have to know our value in the workspace, in the romance space. You got to really be able to assess yourself. A lot of this with the male depression and the female singleness and all of this is lack of awareness. You have to be aware of yourself. What do you mean to each matrix that you focused on? You know what I mean? And I think men, we know where we stand because we listen. We know where we stand. Women tell us all the time where we stand.
Yeah.
But I think that they think that they get to decide their value in the market, right? Skechers can't wake up in the morning and say, I know my worth and present themselves like Balenciaga.
That's impossible.
You understand what I'm saying? Balenciaga is at the mercy of the sales space. You understand what I'm saying? Whoever is your consumer decides your value. And that's what I'm gonna leave it at that.
But with that being said, that brings us to the end of this episode. Like, subscribe, and share, and give us some comments and stuff. So maybe we could do better next time, and give us
Public
something.
diary. Until next time.
Until next time, peace.